Abdul-Baha, as well as Baha'u'llah and the Bab, had the power to perform miracles, especially in healing the sick. Although Baha'is do not teach their religion by telling about these miracles, here is one which we tell just for the sake of interest. One day, early in 1916, Abdul-Baha and his faithful coachman took a trip from Akka to Nazareth. The master was tired, so they stopped at the home of the headman of a small village. There, Abdul-Baha had a simple meal and slept for about an hour. Then he came to sit with the headman and the notables of the place who had gathered to meet him. He spoke to them and gave them wise advice on many problems and difficulties they had in the village. After the talk, the headman thanked Abdul-Baha for his advice and for paying him the honor of a visit. He said, "Your visit will bring heavenly bounties and help to all the people in this village. Now I have one more request to make of you." "What is your request?" said Abdul-Baha. "It will be a happiness for me to grant it if I have the power." The headman said, "I have only one child, a girl of 14, who has had tuberculosis for 2 years. All the doctors have told me that she will never be well. Day after day, her mother and I and our relatives can do nothing but shed tears and moan. God has not given us another child. If your holiness would pray for the health of my child, I feel that new life would be given to her. We feel sure that your prayers are acceptable to God, and we know that Abdul-Baha's bounties shower on all men, regardless of whether they deserve it or not." At this point, the headman burst into tears. Abdul-Baha immediately rose from his seat. "Where is your daughter?" he asked. "In the other room," the headman answered. Abdul-Baha found the girl lying on a bed on the floor. The mother and the members of the family were seated all around her. Some were acting as nurses, others were only crying. Abdul-Baha walked to the head of the bed and sat down beside her. He took the little hand and felt the pulse. Her temperature was very high. The child seemed to cough without stopping, and she spat up blood. She was like a creature of skin and bones, and was completely helpless. Abdul-Baha laid his blessed hand upon the child's forehead and caressed it. Then he asked someone for a cup of tea. When the tea was brought, Abdul-Baha drank some of it and prayed for about 5 minutes. Then he gradually poured the rest of the tea with a spoon into the girl's mouth. Twice he placed his hands on her forehead. Once more he prayed, this time for about 10 minutes. When all this was finished, he rose to his feet and turned to the parents. In a loud voice and with great authority, he said, "Be assured that God will grant a complete cure to your daughter. Do not be unhappy, neither whip nor moan. Nurse her with complete confidence. Before long, she will be in perfect health." He returned to the guest room for a short while. Then he said goodbye to the headman and his guests, walked out of the house and stepped into the carriage. That night, the girl perspired a great deal, and gradually her temperature came down. According to the word of the village headman, within 2 months, his daughter was once again in perfect health, and in the year 1922, she was married to the government official of Accra and became the mother of 3 healthy children. The father of the girl told the story many times in Accra, Haifa, and in Nazareth, and he always ended his story by saying, "My daughter was given back to me by His Holiness Abdul-Baha." Stories about Abdul-Baha.